Good evening, everybody. My name is Amanda Thrower, and I am the proud principal of Liberty Middle School. We're so excited to join with you virtually tonight. I know this is a little different, but I think we've all kind of adjusted to different ways of connecting with our schools and our families. But we wanted to make sure that we were providing you information about this upcoming transition for your students. I have 3 children of my own. I know this is an exciting time. If this is your oldest coming to middle school, I want to assure you that they are in great hands. They are coming to a place that absolutely loves kids and wants what's best for them. So rest assured, we're going to take good care of them as they make this transition to middle school. I've got several team members here with me tonight, coming from you live from our conference room at Liberty, and I'm going to introduce them in just a minute. But you can see we're all gathered here to meet with you tonight virtually. There is a 20 to 45 second delay between what we say and what you see. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. There's also an option for you to submit questions, so please feel free to do that. My teammates are going to monitor that the best we can, and we're going to try to answer them, assuming they don't come in mad rushes. But if for some reason we don't get to your question tonight, at the very end of this presentation, we will give you a link to a Google form where you can submit your question, and then one of our team members will get back to you about your specific question. So with that said, we'll go ahead and jump back to our presentation. And as I said, my name is Amanda Thrower. This is my first year as the principal of Liberty, and what a year to become a principal. But I have loved getting to know our students, our staff, and this community, and just feel very, very blessed to be the lead learner of this community. We also have 2 assistant principals. If you've been a Liberty family for a while, you may be familiar with Mr. Ronnie McNeese, and he is retiring at the end of this school year. So we are excited for him as he opens a new chapter. And we're super excited that we are bringing on Miss Kristen Keith as one of our assistant principals. She is currently an assistant principal at Otwell. And then also our other assistant principal is Mr. Ross Wasson. And Mr. Wasson has been assistant principal at the middle school level for several years now, and just brings a lot of knowledge and expertise to our building. So we're very grateful to have both of these leaders to serve you and your kiddos. We also have some other great members of our support staff that I wanted to make you aware of. Our counselors for next year are Miss Sue Sabo and Miss Kylie Swanberg. Sue has been at Liberty for 3 years now, and knows a lot of our families really well. And Kylie is joining us from Forsyth Central High School, and we're excited to have her knowledge of that high school level coming in to really help our kids as they transition to high school when they leave us. We also have Miss Meg Begno as our instructional technology specialist, and Miss Dottie Phobes, who is our special ed department chair. So just wanted to get some names out in front of you tonight of people who are here to help with any questions you might have. We're also super excited to be celebrating our 20th year of opening our doors to students coming this fall. So your 6th graders are a special group because they are the 20th group to start their middle school journey here at Liberty. It's hard to believe that we've been open that long, but we're excited to celebrate that this fall. Just to kind of give you an idea of who we are and what we stand for. I'm sorry, okay, there we go. You couldn't see something for a minute. It's our mission at Liberty to empower our students to revolutionize, transform, and leave a legacy in the communities they serve both today and in the future. And that concept of community is really important to us, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute and the ways that we work to build that sense of community for our students. It's also our vision that our students know we believe in them, and in doing so, grow to believe in themselves. As we get them ready for that final journey of high school before they head off to college, we really believe the best thing we can do for them, beyond preparing them in terms of the content and those pieces, but really make sure that every kid leaves our building believing that they have what it takes to be successful as high school students. And so that is our goal every day. For our families, we really want you to feel that the school is your partner and that we operate together to foster the success of your student. And for our staff, we work really hard to make sure that they are empowered to lead and inspired to make an impact each day. I know something on a lot of families' minds because of the situation with COVID-19 and the pandemic is the learning environment options for next year. This year, Forsyth has done a phenomenal job, better than I think any of our surrounding districts, of giving our families choice in light of these very difficult times, and we will continue to do that into next school year. Of course, face-to-face, especially at the middle school level, is our preferred delivery model in order to fully meet student social, emotional, and academic needs. Just based on research, we feel like this is the best model for students, especially those wanting that traditional experience that maximizes connections to peers, teachers, and school. We will be offering virtual into next year, though, for those who feel like that is a better choice for their student and their family. We're still working out some of the details of what that virtual will look like. There will be live synchronous elements to that next year, which has not been the case for our base school virtual this year. And we're going to have a lot more information about that at our virtual learning information night on April 14th. So if virtual learning is something that your family is interested in for the 21-22 school year, please mark your calendars and plan to join us on April 14th so you can get the details of what that's going to look like. And then, of course, the existing FBA that has been in our district for years, it just happened to blow up in terms of attendance this year due to the pandemic. That will remain an option for families also with the asynchronous model. As I mentioned, community is a very important concept to us at Liberty, and you may have hear this referred to as teams at other middle schools, and we call them communities, but it's how we support the middle school teaming model, which helps make a large school still feel small for our students and really help scaffold that transition from elementary to high school. And we use our teams or our communities to really facilitate interdisciplinary lesson planning, so cross-curricular pieces. We also do a lot of team building and character development through our communities. And those are called, as they relate to our mission statement, revolution, transformation, and legacy. Okay, and now, so you're not hearing me speak all night. I'm going to now turn it over to Ms. Sabo, one of our counselors, who's going to talk to you a little bit about the main differences your student can expect from middle to high school, or I'm sorry, from elementary to middle.
Good evening. I am thrilled and proud to be returning to Liberty Middle School next year as one of your school counselors, and we look forward to welcoming Ms. Swanberg here to share that responsibility with me. As we talk about your child moving from elementary to middle school, what we want to focus on the most are some of these differences, but also I just want to do a quick reminder that your children are ready to come to middle school. So we often talk when we go visit our fifth graders about the increase from fourth to fifth grade went well, and we expect the increase from fifth grade to sixth grade to go well. So just try to send that message to your children as you're talking to them over the next few months, getting them prepared to come to us. They are ready. And so we want to make sure we make that clear. But our most notable differences is they will feel a larger campus. Sometimes the buildings don't actually feel larger. We have some large elementary schools. However, the campus may feel larger, the grounds may feel larger. For some of our students, they may not feel like there's more students, and some students that will feel that way. There are bigger kids in the building, so it can feel like more students. A community of teachers. Our students, even if they do switch classes in the fifth grade, they now will go from most likely a handful to 7. So a community of teachers just means more support. It doesn't mean more confusion or upset. It usually means more support. So we want you to be sending that message to your child as well, that they're going to have a community of support around them. Also changing classes more often. So we are up and moving around more often, especially our developing adolescents. That is also a positive thing. So when we're up and moving around, that's a great thing. Also, the inevitable locker. So lockers are a very big deal, but by week 2, they're not. So enjoy the big deal while it's there, but lockers are a very big rite of passage into middle school. Quarter rotations. So your children are used to filtering through a certain rotation of specials in elementary school. When they get to us, we do change our connections each quarter. So they do attend 1 or 2 connections a day, and we'll talk more about the schedule later. But right now we are rotating our connections quarterly. And then we will talk about connections classes too down the road. We do have some year-long options that we can discuss later in the presentation, but connections classes are in your child's life here at middle school. Also, extracurriculars and athletics become a large part of their life here at school. We really do like to pique their interest in their areas. We do have multiple clubs, which we'll talk about later in the presentation as well. We have a little something for everyone. Your child does not have to be athletically inclined to get involved in school, so we look forward to meeting all interests here at Liberty. I think we have a beautiful mix of things for kids to get involved in, so we look forward to that. And we know research tells us that kids that are more involved in school do better academically and socially and emotionally. So that is very important to us, to find an interest for your child. What comes also with coming from elementary to middle school is more independence and increased responsibility. I don't want you to panic here. That also means they are ready for that independence and responsibility. That's very important that you sort of let them start to handle some of their things on their own, but we still want you very involved. When they need you, we want you right there. We want you reaching out to us and communicating with us, but we do start to give them some more independence and responsibility. Moving on to what to expect on a typical day at Liberty. I would venture to say in middle school, there's not really a typical day, but we do our very best. On a typical day, our doors open at 7:45 a.m. so you can drop your student off to enter the building at that time. They go to either the cafeteria, or we do have scheduled help sessions with teachers. Those are generally set up ahead of time, so your child would have either a pass or permission to come see that teacher for extra help. Breakfast is starting to be served at 8:30 a.m. so they have plenty of time to get breakfast. And then we open our hallways at 8:35 for them to navigate down to their classrooms, and teachers are ready to receive them at 8:35. School starts promptly at 9 o'clock, so our classes get rolling at 9. Walking through a typical academic day, so we break them into block days, and then we have Patriot whole 7 days. So we'll walk you through that. On a red day, those classes are blocked evenly. So we have even class periods, so 2, 6, 8, and what is known as Patriot time, where we do some social emotional lessons, some study hall, catch up on work, maybe make up tests, those types of things. On blue block days, those are our odd class periods, 1, 3, 5, and 7. So you can see that those academics are broken down on block days. On a Patriot whole 7 day, all 7 classes, your student will attend all 7, 5 academics, and their 2 connections. So those are the options. This sounds like a lot of information to take in. Again, just like lockers, by week 2, our kids are doing it better than the adults in the building. We often ask our students, what day is it, and they know. And then dismissal. Our school day ends at 4:15. So if you have a student here with us now, you know we've been backing that up, and that's been going at around 4 o'clock. We hope to bump that back out to 4:15 next year, get a little instructional time back, and hopefully we are back to a little more life as normal next year. So pay attention to communications, please, regarding our car line. Please be patient and courteous and model that for your students. Car line can be an issue, so we would love to talk about being patient and courteous and modeling that for our kiddos. Check parent portal and make sure that your student knows their bus information. This is very important. So the last 2 digits of their bus number is basically how we call buses. So 01, 02, and I think we go all the way up into the 20s or 18 or something high. It's a lot of buses. So just make sure your child knows their route. And again, it's those last 2 digits of that 6-digit number. So that's a typical day here at Liberty.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Ross Wasson. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Liberty, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about the way our bell schedule works. For this year, if you have students that are currently at Liberty, you know that we've shifted this year to a red and blue block schedule. You see the times there on the left-hand side of your screen for our block periods. What those block periods allow for us to do is to have a longer window of instruction. In particular, for some classes, like our science classes, if they're doing a lab activity, or if there are assessments that might take a little bit longer, the block is really beneficial for us and for our students. But what we also hope to do for next year is shift back to include a little bit more of a traditional bell schedule. And that would be reflected more in the Patriot Day or the whole 7-day schedule that you see there on the right-hand side of the screen. Between the block days, you have, as you see there, about 95 minutes worth of instructional time. On the whole 7 days, a class period would run just about 55 minutes with lunch built into the middle of the day in each of those different classes. Our final bell rotation, our final block schedule rotation, we haven't determined that yet for next year. We're still waiting to see what the expectations are going to be for us in terms of the impact of COVID-19 for next school year. But we are planning to have a combination of block days and whole 7 days or Patriot days for next academic year, just because we believe that it's going to be good for our students to get some more regular traditional classes built in where they see each class in a single day, but then also have a little bit more time for those block opportunities. So it's a good opportunity for us to mix things up a little bit and work towards the outcomes that we see for our students for next academic year. In terms of the overall class load, as Ms. Sabo said a little bit earlier, in elementary school, students are generally going to be with 1 or maybe just 2 teachers throughout the course of their day, and the day is a little bit more flexible. Once you make the shift to middle school, we do start to structure the day a little bit more into periods, as our class period schedule on the previous slide showed. But that schedule is filled up with academic segments and then also our connections offerings. So in 6th grade, our students are going to take 5 academic classes, 1 each in language arts, math, science, social studies, and then what we call our 5th academic, and we'll have more information about those in just a few minutes. And then the remaining 2 class periods of each day are taken up with connections classes. And connections classes are very similar to specials. that students have in elementary school. As Ms. Sabo said earlier, our connections classes will rotate each quarter, so they'll have an opportunity to be exposed to some different classes as they go throughout the year. And it's also an opportunity for students to start to pursue some of their passions and their interests. Some of these classes are paralleled as students move into high school and they become either the pathway or the career technical classes that students have an opportunity to complete as they work their way through high school. So for our bell schedule and our class structure, we do provide all these different services and classes for students as a part of their regular scheduled day. As Ms. Sabo said earlier, our connections rotate every quarter, and the offerings that we have for next year are going to draw from these categories. We have agricultural science, computer science, engineering and technology and marketing among our CTAE classes. With our physical education department, we offer health and PE. And our fine arts program, we're going to offer drama. We have an option for some music classes for next year. And then we also are going to be able to offer musical theater and band. One thing to note with our connections classes, they are randomly assigned. We don't really option families to have selection for our connections classes, with the exception of our electives. And for next year, the elective offerings for 6th grade are going to include musical theater and band. And we'll speak more about the registration process for those a little bit later on in the presentation. And I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Keith to share a little bit more about our academic program.
Hi everyone, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into our academics and what those courses entail. For English language arts, our focus is really just on that balanced literacy, increasing student reading comprehension and analysis through novel studies and guided and independent reading. We're going to have weekly writing that's designed to improve their style, conventions, and development of ideas. And then, of course, focusing on that grammar and vocabulary development through those novel studies and in class text. The English language arts course will really support everything that student does throughout their day. In terms of advanced learner attributes, we would like the students to be avid independent readers, have strong written communication skills, be a creative thinker, and truly enjoy writing and project-based learning. So as we consider those advanced learner attributes, that really guides our instruction in those courses. For math, we have 3 different levels. We have our on-level math, which follows the outlined 6th grade math curriculum. Our advanced math, which follows the 6th grade curriculum with a little higher level of rigor and faster pace. And it also adds an additional 4 standards. Students who enjoy math while seeking higher level instruction and who are also highly self-motivated, these make solid advanced math candidates. For accelerated math, this follows the 6th grade curriculum at, again, a higher rigor level than advanced, and it also includes half of the 7th grade curriculum. Students must reach a cut score on the Forsyth County Schools Accelerated Math Placement Test to qualify for accelerated. And you'll notice here there are 2 dates listed for the accelerated math testing schedule. We have our Matt Elementary testing date of May 18th, and then our Pools Mill Elementary testing date of May 19th. And students who are registered for advanced math or based on approved course change requests for advanced math are eligible to take those accelerated math placement testing. For earth science, the students will explore the categories of hydrology, meteorology, geology, and astronomy. Students will learn in a variety of ways, especially with technology and hands-on lab activities. And you will notice here for our advanced learner attributes, it is also stated that that literacy component is very important in both the science and you'll see in the social studies courses. Their strong written communication also. And then just being a problem solver and again, enjoying that project-based learning. Social studies is an overview of geography, economy, government, and history of Europe, Canada, Australia, and Latin America. And the advanced learner attributes I had just mentioned for science are the same here in social studies as well. As you think about the advanced level courses for your student, we just want to remind families to consider balance. We know that the students are entering into middle school, and that's an adjustment in itself, and we do want them to be able to enjoy their extracurriculars. We know that the value of being connected to their passions and interests is very important. So just as you're considering the course levels for your child and the amount of courses to take, just consider the interests that your student has and balance within their day.
Thank you, Ms. Keith. And now Mr. Watson is going to, oh, wait, one more. Sorry.
That's okay.
One more.
Our fifth academic, Mr. Watson had mentioned that we have a study skills for our fifth academic. And this course is really designed to support the learning in our core academics while also improving students' executive functioning and organizational skills. And we also address digital citizenship and research skills in these courses. Some students may need a academic support to close gaps in math or reading comprehension. So during that fifth academic, we also have an option of academic support for those students that demonstrate that need. And lastly, our Patriot Time. We have a segment of our day dedicated to Patriot Time, and this segment provides us with opportunities for many different supports in our school. For example, we have Relearn Recovery help sessions. We offer our character education and classroom guidance, wellness opportunities, service projects are done during this time, school-wide events, and positive behavior celebrations to really build that community that we seek to cultivate within Liberty.
Thank you. And parents, I know you're probably wondering, well, how do I know what classes my child is going to be in next year? And your students' fifth grade teachers have given us course recommendations based on their classroom performance this year. And so I'm going to let Mr. Watson now kind of explain to you how you'll be able to see what they've been recommended for. And if you would like us to consider to make a change to that recommendation, how that process works.
Yeah, we sent off a set of things for teachers to consider when making course recommendations, including, their current academic achievement, how they've been performing in class, their reading and writing skills and abilities in each of the different content areas. And we've really asked that the fifth grade teachers, the ones who know your students best, give us the best information about where they would recommend students be placed for next academic year. We've received all those recommendations. And so what will happen here on Monday, April 12th, is you'll receive a personalized message from Liberty Middle School that will indicate your students' course recommendations, and it will also provide you with links to 2 different sets of information. Once you get that list of course recommendations, you'll be able to communicate with us if you wish to make a change using a Google form. So what you'll do is you'll fill out that form to say, my child was recommended for advanced classes in all their different subjects, but we really want to scale them back in terms of trying to promote a better balance for them in their academic load. Or it may be that your child was recommended for on-level math and you want for them to be in an advanced math placement. What you'll do is you'll fill out that change request form, and we'll process those change requests as we go throughout this spring. The deadline to submit those requests will be the second Friday after spring break. That's Friday, April 23rd. What you'll also be able to do during that window is to register for our elective classes. And again, the elective classes that we're going to be offering for next year are going to be band and musical theater. So if you go through and you want to participate in our band program or our musical theater program, you'll be able to register for those classes through Infinite Campus, through Parent Portal. So just like you would check your students' grades this year or their attendance this year, you would go through Campus Portal to submit those course requests. We'll do everything possible to satisfy any of the course requests for elective classes that we receive. It's an opportunity for us to make sure that our students are connected to things that they're interested in. And we do try to satisfy those as much as possible given the options that we have available to our students. Ultimately, though, we do trust the recommendations that your 5th grade teachers have made. They're the ones who know your students best. And at this point, they don't, if you have questions about reaching out to us, once that course recommendation is viewable in Campus Portal, reach out directly to us here at Liberty. We'll be able to address all those questions as we go. It's just an opportunity for us to get connected with you all as partners to make sure that we're supporting the needs of your students as we transition here into middle school. But again, that window is going to be really important. It's a 2-week window coming back right after spring break. So that first Monday after spring break, be on the lookout for that message that's going to come to the email that's connected to your Campus Portal account. You really do, between now and then, need to get connected to Campus Portal or Parent Portal if you're not already. Make sure your information is up to date so that we have the best line of communication to reach you, and we'll make sure that we do everything we can to get everybody set up for next academic year.
Okay, so this is Mrs. Sabo again. We wanted to wrap back around and just re-emphasize the importance of connecting your child to our school and having them really feel like a member of our community. So one way that you can do that is encourage your child to look at all of our clubs. This is a version of what we have. It doesn't mean that this will be all that we have, or you know, we may be adding some clubs to this, so your child will learn more about that when they're here at school with us. However, through our clubs, like we were saying before, we know that children that feel connected to school do better in school all the way around. So socially, emotionally, and academically. We have a phenomenal DECA program that runs through our marketing program with Miss Jenkins. We also have the National Future Farmers of America with Miss Hollingsworth. We have VEX Robotics. We have FCA. We have Academic Bowl, Cross Country, Humane Hearts, Junior Beta, and Math Club. Our clubs are known throughout our district for being highly attended. I believe we had over 80 students on our cross country team. That's one that I can think off the top of my head. Our DECA program runs a phenomenal morning coffee house for our teachers. Our students are very, very, very connected to our school through their clubs. So we want you to really encourage your student to look at those lists and see what interests them. We have a nice mix of interests in our clubs and hopefully have a little something for everyone. So that's just another way for them to feel connected to the Liberty community. And building Patriot spirit through athletics. So we invite our 7th and 8th graders to try out for competitive sports. But as you can see there, we say that our 6th graders make our best fans. So we look forward to sharing those more traditional experiences with your students next year. Hopefully our sports will be open and more traditional, attending football games and basketball games, trying out for cheerleading as a 7th or 8th grader, track and golf. Those are our competitive sports that we have here at Liberty, but again, we encourage your 6th grader to attend those as a fan.
All right, this is Mrs. Stower again, and I just wanted to point out some more dates and activities we have coming up planned for your kiddo to help with the transition to middle school. I know you can't click on the slide where it says here, but one of my teammates is going to post the link to this in the chat to the timeline. And let's see, I think I can pull it up so y'all can see it here. Okay, okay. So this is a timeline of all of our transition activities, starting with our information night tonight. And thank you all so much for tuning in. Mr. Watson talked about the upcoming course recommendations in Parent Portal that you'll also receive an email for those. And the link for that course consideration change form is linked here in this timeline, so that you'll have access to that during that window if you want us to consider making a change to the recommendations that have been provided to us for your student. You also have links back to this presentation, so if at any point you want to come back and reference it, it is available to you to flip through. Also, as Mr. Watson mentioned, our year-long offerings for Connections, band, and musical theater will be, your student can register for those through Parent Portal during this window also. And we definitely encourage our musically inclined and our theatrically inclined to get plugged into these great year-long programs. We are going to go out and visit our 2 feeder elementary schools. We plan to be at MAT right after spring break on April 12th and at Pools Mill on May 17th. So during that time, your student's going to get to have a meet and greet with our counselors and administrators, and I'm so excited to see their little faces. We'll do a little Liberty trivia and some prizes with them. And we'll show them a virtual tour of our campus, and we'll also provide some time for them to interact with some of our current 6th graders so they can ask questions of the students and what their year has been like here. We really just want to make sure that they feel connected and are getting excited about becoming a Liberty Patriot. And then coming up this summer, right now, we tentatively have our 2021 Camp Liberty scheduled for Monday, August 2nd. Because as with everything related to COVID this year, that date is tentative, but I'm hoping we're going to be able to stick with that, and we will certainly be getting the details of that plan out to our families this summer. But in the meantime, if you'll just kind of mark the date on your calendar for August 2nd, we'll welcome our 6th graders to the building that day. They'll be able to receive their class schedule and kind of walk the building so they can see where their classes are going to be on that first day of school and meet their teachers. They'll be able to also get their locker assignment and have some time to practice with their locker, which is always kind of the biggest deal to the kids, is making sure that locker gets situated. So we'll give them some time with that. If you can't make Camp Liberty for whatever reason, please do not worry. The first day of school is always just a day of getting everyone settled, so we will make sure if for some reason you can't attend that they get all of those opportunities also on the first day of school. So just wanted to point out some of those transition pieces that we have coming up for the kids. Also wanted to give a plug to our PTSO. We'll be getting information to you also this summer on how you can join them. We have a phenomenal group of support from our parents through our PTSO. They do so much to support our students and our staff. So I would just ask you to please consider joining them. They'll have different kind of package levels that you can choose from coming up this summer, but I couldn't miss an opportunity, one, to thank them for all that they do, and also just to ask, as we have new families joining the Liberty community, to please consider being a part of that great work. Okay, and then as promised, if we did not get to a question that you have tonight, or you're watching this recorded the next day, we do have a form where you can submit questions for us, and one of our team members will get back to you. I think one of my teammates just posted the link in the chat for you. So you can click on that and submit any questions you have, and we will be glad to reach out to you and make sure that you just feel informed and welcomed. That's what we're here for. As I said from the beginning, we're just excited to welcome a new group of Patriots. They are in great hands. And if there's anything we can do to support this transition process for you, for your student, for your family, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope that everything worked well, and we will see you soon.